Your ideal client is somebody that can afford to work with you, right? Somebody can be fucking perfect, but if they are not willing to figure it out, if they tell you I can't afford this, blah, blah, they are not an ideal client. Welcome to Did I Stutter with Jill Perick. And yeah, I probably did because I have a stuttering disability. But I'm also a multiple six-figure business and mindset coach who's here to help you shut down the mindfuckery of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and playing the nice girl in your content so you and your brand can blow the fuck up and so you can stack the motherfucking cash. I'm holding absolutely nothing back. We're talking marketing, messaging, mindset, subconscious healing, nervous system regulation, and how to do it all even with raging anxiety, ADHD, and just being a fucking human. If fuck is one of your favorite words and nothing can get in between you, your iced coffee, or the work that you're here to do, I'm your girl. Let's dive in. Hello, my queens. Welcome back to the pod. I'm your host, Jill Perick, and we are at the end of October, and you guys are so lucky because there was a fifth fucking Wednesday in October. So you got this little extra bonus episode, and today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why someone is fucking telling you they can't afford it in your DMs. And I also just want to say that I have these conversations all the time with my clients. I have them with my coach, and I really want to take away this thought that when you reach a certain level, people are just going to say, yep, I can afford it, blah, blah, blah. You will always have some kind of objection. You will always have a person that doesn't see the value yet. Because that's what this episode is kind of about. Is like, if somebody is telling you I can't afford it, but they're like up your fucking ass, they're liking all your posts, or perhaps they're just dropping in and having a conversation with you. And ultimately they're like, you know what? I can't afford it. I know that this may seem like kind of like harsh to hear, but they can always fucking afford it. If somebody wants to figure it out, they are going to. Now, as somebody who has a lot of sales conversations, I am not somebody that is going to say, you need to figure it out. I'm never going to say, open a credit card, ask your parents, dip into your inheritance fund, dip into your retirement. Like, I never say any of that shit. I am here to have the conversation if you want to join my offers. And if you do, amazing. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if it's a good fit. You can join, but I am never somebody who is going to say, okay, you just told me you can't afford it. Like, let's figure out how you can. Like, no, like you're all responsible adults. And when you start having conversations with people in that way, it can come off as a little desperate. You feel responsible for the sale. If they do end up signing, then you kind of like feel responsible to get them results and blah, 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 blah. So all this to say, like, however, if somebody says I can't afford it, I always know that that just means it's not a priority for them right now and they're not wanting to figure it out. Because also, if somebody is dropping in and they express like interest and they really want to, they're gonna make it work, right? I have never dropped into somebody's DMs and been like, okay, I want to figure out how to make this work, and then ultimately be like, you know what? I can't afford it. I always kind of know that I am already going to join when I reach out to the person. And that's how I honestly recommend it. If you need to ask some questions, absolutely. But I think the way that the industry is now and how like we put such a focus on content and showing up authentically and doing all of these things that will lead to sales, I do my very best to create an online persona and experience and content that when somebody drops into the DMs, they just need to have a quick conversation with me and then they are ready to join, even if it's something that's high ticket, that is 5 figures, like, because I have created such an experience for them through content that they feel like, okay, this person is trustworthy. I trust her to fucking help me. So your content is a whole other conversation, but let's get into the juice of this episode. And it's the 3 reasons why somebody told you that they can't afford it in the DMs, right? And then they went and fucking paid another coach, whether it's $100, whether it's $2,000, whether it's $10,000. This has absolutely happened to me. It's absolutely happened to my clients before. And it is not a big deal. It just means purely stated, right? They can always afford it. And if you lead with that, you stop thinking to yourself, this is the objection. They just can't afford it. Because after you get the fuck over that, you start opening your thoughts to what are the other things that I can do, right? We kind of come to like a standstill when we tell ourselves people just can't afford this. Because then that is the only thing that we think about that needs tweaking, that needs work, blah, 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 blah. And then we end up believing things like people can't afford things right now. It's the economy. People only purchase high ticket. They only purchase low ticket, blah, blah. All of this is fucking bullshit. If somebody sees the value in your offer, they are going to buy. And when something is high ticket, of course, there's going to be people that aren't going to be able to afford it, but that's not your person. Your ideal client is somebody that can afford your services, okay? Listen to me say that. Your ideal client is somebody that can afford to work with you, right? Somebody can be fucking perfect, but if they are not willing to figure it out, if they tell you I can't afford this, blah, blah, they are not an ideal client, okay? They can always afford it. And the difference is that they saw the value in that other offer and not yours, okay? So blaming the price of something feels easier on the ego than admitting that you're not communicating the value properly. Because if it's the price, as I was saying, you can fix it by just lowering your rates, giving discounts, but then you'll fucking realize, oh, it actually was not about the price because people still won't buy no matter how low you think it is, right? But if it's the value, that's on you, and that's a harder pill to swallow. It's hard on your ego. It's hard for your shadows. It's hard for your shame, but there is no shame about it. We just need to get better at communicating the fucking value, right? So before you lower your prices, give someone a fucking discount they didn't ask for, or say yes to the client in the DMs that your gut is screaming at you not to sign. And we've all fucking had that. We've all had that red flag city in the DMs. I have done this time and time again, and it is a lesson that I needed to learn a ton of times over, that it was not worth it at the end of the day. So like, even though you could use the money, right, you will always pay for it later on in your confidence, in your wallet, in recurring clients, blah, blah, blah. But here's what the real issue is, okay? You and your offer are valuable as fuck, okay? But 1, you're not seeing yourself as the motherfucking prize, okay? 2, you were never taught how to actually communicate the value. And 3, your own money shit is leaking into your content and is making you think that no one can afford you. So let's dive into these 3 things, okay? The first one, you don't see yourself as the motherfucking prize. And when you don't see yourself as the prize, content will take you 10 times longer to create. You show up way less than you are actually capable of, okay? Don't use excuses in terms of like, oh, I don't have the time or blah, 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 blah. I have clients with kids, clients with disabilities. I have a disability, right? Clients with big, beautiful, busy fucking lives, clients that travel constantly. If they can make it work, so can fucking you, okay? So you show up way less than you're capable of. And you second guess every single word you say when you don't see yourself as the value, when you don't see yourself as the prize. And raising your self-belief and seeing yourself as a big fucking deal is exactly what's going to change the frequency of your content and sales game, okay? You came into the space and you were like, okay, I'm a coach, and realizing that it is not just about the thing that you can teach somebody, it's also how you lead. It's also, do they see you as an influential person? Your personal power matters. If you're asking yourself, why would somebody pay me? Why would somebody want to work with me? Blah, blah, blah. This is just draining the fuck out of you because you don't see yourself as an influential person. You don't see yourself as a big deal, but that is required to lead people. You have to see yourself as somebody who has something to share, who has experiences that other people can learn from, who has an important story that is going to help other people change their lives, right? And sometimes that just comes with time and experience being in the space, but you want to make money now. You want to make money now. And that a big piece of this is seeing yourself as a big fucking deal, okay? The second thing, you want to make them see the value, okay? But making them see the value doesn't mean posting 1,000,001 educational posts. It means speaking directly to the thoughts in their head, okay? Speaking directly to the thoughts in their head. The thoughts that they're thinking that you think to yourself, am I the only human that has this thought? No, they do too. Speak directly to the thoughts that they're having. 2, showing how your process and your methodology will create their results, okay? I was coaching a client, I think I was talking about this in the last week's episode, but I was coaching a client who was a business coach, and something she was asking was kind of like, how can I really make people move faster? And she has a lot of really great like results, client results, all that kind of shit, right? She has incredible results. But because she's a business coach and there is a level of believability that has to come with the results as a fucking business coach, right? Helping them to see, okay, this is how I got this client result. This is exactly how we got these clients these results through XYZ. We did this, we did that, and kind of just pushes the believability factor a bit more. So again, speaking directly to the thoughts that are in their head, the feelings that they're having, right? Showing how your process will create the result that they're looking for, and positioning yourself as the only recipe that works, as the only choice to your people in terms of like, okay, you're having this problem, and real certainty and conviction in the problem, right? Like you are trying to stop binge eating. You are trying to stop overeating. First of all, a big reason why you are binging every night is because you can't handle your freaking emotions. So when you come and work with me, you are going to learn how to feel your feelings without it having you reach into the fridge at 12 a.m. for the Haagen-Dazs, right? You are going to be binge free in 30 days or less, or you're going to be binge free in 60 days or less. So really having a lot of conviction and power in the fact that like you know what their problems are and you can help them solve their problems. I feel so confident about this that I know when somebody comes in to fucking work with me, they are going to like get the support, and I am going to be close enough to their business, to the problems that they're experiencing with their identity and their mindset and their emotions and all of that kind of shit. I know, oh, I can solve your problems. I can absolutely solve your problems. And I feel that in conviction that I can do that. And when you actually feel that way, it's easier for you to say it when you show up and how you talk about your offers, okay? And this does not mean you're crapping on anyone else that does business or healthy eating or any of these things a certain way. It just means that you are so like clear and convicted and certain in the work that you do. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna get spicy here. You need to stop putting your fucking broke thoughts onto your audience. Believing that no one has fucking money or can't fucking afford you, it couldn't be farther from the truth. If it was actually about the money, they wouldn't be binging your content, sending you a DM, thinking about being your next client. And you have to truly realize this, that people have money and they spend it on numerous things all of the fucking time. They're spending it on useless shit that they will never use. They are spending it on things that are going to help them feel a certain way, on dopamine hits. I love to spend money. I fucking love to spend money. And also, it's kind of offensive when people assume that nobody has any money. Especially nowadays in this economy, it is the fucking norm to see people complaining that they don't have any money, everybody's poor, blah, 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 blah. First of all, you don't come into the industry because you're thinking that it's going to be a bunch of people that can't afford the very thing that you sell. Secondly, if you are listening to this, and if you are, in the coaching industry, then you are probably used to investing in yourself. And if you are willing to invest in yourself and do that work, then you can believe that you are going to attract people who are going to want to do the same. And if you're somebody who's like very stingy in investing in yourself, but yet you're in this industry and trying to sell those services, let's ask the question of, if you're not willing to spend on yourself, why do you expect other people to too? Sometimes that is a thing. It's like they're like, well, I need to hold off until I get a sale or until I start making X amount before I can invest in myself. And sister, that's not how it works. That's not how it fucking works. You have to see the coaching, the services as like legitimate, as worthy of being compensated for. And sometimes that is very easily done through you deciding I am worthy of investing into myself. Okay, but you need to stop putting your broke thoughts or your trauma with money or anything like that onto your audience, and instead start if you can believe that nobody has any money, you can start believing in the opposite direction, that people can afford your work, that they want to invest in your work, and that they are going to make it work. Okay, I always think that to myself, that when somebody decides to invest in me, they are going to be able to figure out, I don't need to put my hands in their fucking wallet. I don't need to try and figure out how they're going to afford me, blah, blah, blah. That is none of my business. It is my business to be able to communicate the value. It is my business to be confident in the work that I do and that I can help them. It's my business to have the conversation with them and be honest about if they're a good fit for my high ticket spaces. And then they can figure out how they're going to make the payment. And if they don't, I always kind of think, okay, how can I get better at communicating the value? How can I really double down on selling this offer? So even if somebody says no, which we talked about at the beginning of the month, where I had my Real Deal mastermind client say no, and then she ended up coming back 2 days later and she said yes. So it's never about the money. It's never about the money. It is always about, is this a priority for them right now, and do they see the value? And when you reposition your thoughts in that direction, it's actually a lot easier to refine and to show up and sell and to do that work than to just tell yourself they can't afford it, and that's the only fucking reason. And when you join the Real Deal Mastermind, we tackle all three of these things. You will finally see yourself as the fucking prize, so your content stops dripping with self-doubt and instead drips with authority and presence, right? You'll learn how to communicate the value of your offers so clients see you as the only option, not just another freaking coach that they see online, and you'll rewire your money mindset. We love doing that work inside of the Real Deal Mastermind, so you stop projecting your broke thoughts onto your audience and start selling from complete abundance. And when you hold the energy, the messaging, and the strategy with ruthless conviction, selling 4- and 5-figure packages becomes the norm, not the fucking dream. So head to the link in my show notes, check out the sales page, and then send me a DM on Instagram at Your Coach Jill when you are done lowering your fucking prices and you're ready to sell your high ticket offers with fucking ease and authority and from an abundant place. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in November.